Stop what you're doing. Because this morning, Easter Sunday, Trump posted something on Truth Social that the entire world stopped to read. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the strait. You crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. That's real. And then in a second post, he dropped one single line. No context, no explanation, just Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The deadline is tomorrow. And nobody knows if this one actually happens. To understand this, we have to look at the last 48 hours. Friday night, an F-15E Strike Eagle was shot down over Iran. Both crew members ejected. The pilot was pulled out quickly, but the weapons officer, a colonel, was alone, injured, somewhere in the mountains of southwestern Iran. Iran knew who they were looking for. The Iranian government offered a reward. The U.S. military launched an enormous rescue operation. Dozens of aircraft, special operations forces. While that operation was running, Iranian forces engaged the rescue teams directly. An A-10 Warthog was hit, and the pilot had to eject. 2 Blackhawks were struck. U.S. forces destroyed 2 of their own MC-130s to prevent Iran from capturing them. Let that sink in. Then, early Easter morning, Trump posted 2 words. We got him. The colonel had been found in a mountain crevice. He was safe. He was seriously wounded, but he was home. Trump called it a miracle. And then, within minutes, came the power plant post. Trump had just watched his military fight through 24 hours of fire. This wasn't strategy. This was fury that had a keyboard in front of it. Saturday, he posted, "Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. Glory be to God." The threats were growing. Then came Sunday's main post, Power Plant Day, Bridge Day, Living in Hell, signed with Praise be to Allah. That sign-off got attention. But within hours, Trump said something different. He told Fox News there's a good chance of a deal. He told Axios he's blowing up everything. On one hand, total destruction. On the other, a deal. Both statements came within 2 hours. The deadline is the ultimate leverage. Let's be real about Power Plant Day. Iran's grid feeds everything. Hospitals, water treatment, newborns, and incubators. A total collapse. When Trump says every power plant comes down, he describes a nationwide blackout, a collapse of the entire country's survival systems. Amnesty International called the post revolting. Experts say targeting a civilian power grid on this scale would likely be a war crime. Last Thursday, U.S. forces hit the B-1 bridge near Karaj. Iran said families were killed. Trump posted, "The biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down." Why did he bomb it? He told Axios Iran asked for 5 more days. Trump said, "I felt they were not being serious, so I attacked the bridge." That tells you everything. His patience is at the edge. Now, Iran is not sitting quietly. They've already responded with force. Iranian drones hit Kuwait's largest oil refinery. They struck a power plant and a desalination station. Fires broke out across Bahrain. The UAE said its air defenses engaged 23 ballistic missiles and 56 drones in one day. This is a full-scale capability demonstration. There's a new threat. Iran's leadership warned they could shut down the Bab al-Mandab Strait, the link between the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. If they do that, 2 of the world's most critical shipping channels would be under blockade, trade disrupted with a single signal. Iran's position. The waterway reopens only after they get full financial compensation for war damages, not under threat, on their terms. Behind the loud posts, there's real diplomatic movement. Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey have been carrying messages between Washington and Tehran. They're trying to build a face-saving off-ramp, a way for Trump to extend the deadline while Iran makes a small gesture. No breakthrough yet. Oman is separately holding last-ditch talks. They are the most trusted, quiet channel. But the gap between the 2 sides is enormous. Iran wants a full end to strikes and payment for damages. US wants denuclearization. These positions don't overlap, not even close. So here is where we land. 3 realistic paths from now to Wednesday morning. Path 1. Iran makes a gesture, Trump extends again. War cools. Path 2. Tuesday happens. Strikes begin. Iran's power grid goes down. They retaliate against Gulf energy. Oil breaks records fast. Path 3. A real deal by Monday. Trump announces a framework, Tuesday gets called off, and diplomacy gets a mandate. This is the best case. Right now, nobody involved knows which of these 3 is coming. Not the White House, not Tehran. The stakes couldn't be higher. The post Trump dropped on Easter Sunday is different. It was raw. It was personal. It came minutes after a bloody rescue mission. It has a real deadline. Whether Tuesday is real or just leverage, the answer is coming fast. It will reshape this war entirely. The world is watching. 90 million people waiting. We'll be back the moment anything breaks. Deal, extension, or strikes. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay close. This moves fast. That's your update. The economic impact of $141 oil would be felt in every corner of the globe. Markets are bracing for the Tuesday results with unprecedented volatility. Logistics hubs across the region are at maximum readiness. The U.S. has moved assets into position to follow through on the president's warnings. Inside Tehran, the 90 million people Trump mentioned are waiting. For them, these aren't just headlines. This is the reality of their survival. Crisis. The Houthis are already inside this war. Their reaching into the Bab el-Mandab Strait adds a layer of complexity that could trigger a global shipping crisis. Iranian drones have already proven they can hit Gulf energy infrastructure. The scale of the retaliation is the only remaining question for the global markets. If the power grid collapses, hospitals and dialysis centers will be the first to face the crisis. 90 million people depend on this infrastructure to live. Foreign ministers from Turkey and Egypt have been on the phone with both US and Iranian envoys until the very last minute. Every single call matters. Oman's quiet channel remains the most trusted. They've handled these conflicts before, but never with a deadline this explicit and personal. Momentum. Iran's terms are clear. They want compensation for damages and a full end to all strikes. These demands do not overlap with the White House's goals. The U.S. Navy is on high alert in the Gulf. Every movement is being tracked. The risk of a miscalculation on Tuesday is at an all-time high. Readiness. The B-1 bridge strike last Thursday was just the beginning. Trump's warning about Bridge Day suggests a much larger strategic campaign is planned. The negotiation table is set, but the seats are empty. Every time Iran asks for more time, the president sees it as a stalling tactic. Time is up. This wasn't a communication team's plan. This was the fury of a man who watched his military under fire. It's personal and highly unpredictable. The oil markets are the most sensitive to these threats. $141 a barrel would reshape the global economy in a matter of days. High geopolitical stakes. The colonel spent hours hiding in a mountain crevice as Iranian forces closed in. That personal experience is what triggered this level of response. Intensity. The rescue teams fought through Iranian fire for 24 hours to bring him home. Every shot fired during that mission is reflected in this deadline. War. The sign-off, "Praise be to Allah," in the Truth Social post got its own wave of controversy. It landed hard and added to the raw nature of the threat. Crisis. Oman is trying to get Iran to make a small gesture on the strait, a sign that the deadline can be extended once more. So far, the lanes are tight. Tension. Iran's military joint command is not sitting quietly. They have promised a forceful response to any aggression against civilian facilities. War. Strategy. Drone debris at a UAE petrochemical plant showed the scale of the threat. 23 ballistic missiles and 56 drones were engaged in a single day. Crisis. Escalation. Just the date and the time. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's like a court summons with no explanation attached. The world is waiting for Tuesday. The deadline is tomorrow. Path 1, an extension. Path 2, the strikes begin. Path 3, a framework deal. The answer is coming very fast. Suspense. 90 million people in Iran are living under the shadow of this threat. Electricity, water, and survival are all on the line this Tuesday. Urgent reality. Mediators are racing the clock. Every hour matters as the 8 p.m. deadline approaches. This is the moment where diplomacy either works or fails. Urgency. Subscribe and stay close. We are back the moment anything breaks. This moves fast. That's your update. This is Global Context. Stay sharp. Fast. The global energy markets are in a state of unprecedented tension. If Tuesday brings strikes instead of a deal, $141 oil will be just the beginning of a total economic realignment. Financial world is on the edge. Naval combat systems across the Gulf are monitoring every signal. From the Strait of Hormuz to the Bab el-Mandab, the military readiness is at a peak. Any misstep could trigger the full retaliation Iran has promised. Tension. Turkey, Pakistan, and Egypt are pushing for a confidence-building measure. A small, visible gesture from Tehran on the strait could be the off-ramp Trump needs to extend the deadline for a fourth time. The diplomacy track is at its limits. The world is in a holding pattern: deal, extension, or strikes. By Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have our answer. The stakes have never been higher for the 90 million people in Iran and the global economy. Stay sharp. The lights across the entire country could go out in an instant. Blackout. This is the global context you need to understand the Tuesday deadline.